Sorry, I was trying to steal laser time there.
After dark. It's after dark time, baby.
About Weasel in Deadpool 3.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. Was there a new development in this? Because like last I heard, T.J. Miller was just kind of a creep. Like, is this any concrete?
Oh, you
Yeah,
didn't
we were
hear?
talking about it.
No.
2 words: bomb threat.
In New York City, on a train.
Whoa,
Minimum sentence of 5 years in prison.
hang on.
Yeah.
When you Google TJ Miller, one of the people that comes up is Jason Mantzoukas.
do any of you guys watch Silicon Valley at all, or no?
I do. I've watched every episode.
Okay.
I haven't.
I love the
T.J.
show.
Miller arrested for making false bomb threat. What the?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Dude's
here's the thing.
insane.
I just want to break down what I see in front of me. I got one article from GameSpot. This is Deadpool 2 star T.J. Miller arrested for allegedly making a bomb threat. On the far side, from NorthJersey.com, T.J. Miller performance at Bananas Comedy Club still on following fake bomb threat arrest.
What?
The middle article. Hold on. The middle
That's in
article.
Poughkeepsie.
T.J. Miller arrested for alleged fake bomb threat. Please guess where this is from.
The Onion.
It is The Onion.
I have the same search in front of me. It's great.
What?
When did The Onion become a place where you could be like, oh yeah, that's a credible news place?
Well, do we want to go back a year or so?
No, we don't.
No. Just listen to episode 8 of this show, and then you'll know. Yeah, I guess this TJ Miller thing is our thing, but I don't know what's gonna happen though. Like,
I was just bringing it up as a joke, but all I know is, legal standpoint, if convicted, the minimum sentence is like 5 years.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, Google
Like
has already
federal.
told us who his replacement should be, so just have Jason
We checked
Mantzoukas.
before, yeah, but like if they did 3, they should just like have somebody else play Weasel, and I said like, oh, it's a black woman.
No, Jason Mantzoukas would be perfect though.
Like, oh, did you cut your hair?
Like I said, I still like the idea of them just being very Deadpool-y and being like, "Oh no, Weasel, we don't talk about him. He did some really bad shit, man."
I mean, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hearing the
So
bomb threats, that's fucked up.
let's move on. God damn you! Let's move on to our actual stories. Not very many, but there's enough. Well, okay, let's go with the one that's most us. Colton Haynes. He is a regular in Arrow season 7. I don't know how that works exactly.
Who does he play again?
That's Roy.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay, Roy.
So
So
here's
is Thea back?
So Eric, remember how you were asking about whether or not we're going to see him with a metal arm talking to a dead cat?
Yeah.
Window of opportunity just opened.
Yeah.
so I'm very
excited.
I'm very curious about this because are they just gonna say that like Thea died? like
Yeah, what the fuck? They're just going to farewell episodes. They're going to bring it back. Where's Thea? Oh, she's away.
I decided to stop her with her Indiana Jones style mission. I decided not to go on that anymore.
She's gonna run for state senate.
Possibly.
I'm gonna go with the Hunter Davenport choice, which is she's going to have a pulmonary embolism.
Yep.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Maybe
She goes full bad guy.
Yeah.
And they turn her into oh man, what is the character he has the kid with?
Yeah, I know who you're talking
Cheshire.
about. Yeah.
Cheshire. They just
Yeah.
turn her into Cheshire.
Yeah.
That could be something. I don't know. I'm very confused by this. Like they set him up as being on this big mission, and then they announce him as being in the next season as a regular again, which I'm all for. I like my Teen Wolf alums on television.
How many episodes equals a regular? Does he have to be on like half or more than half?
I think it's more than half.
It's like 20.
Because what's her face? The woman playing Dinah, she's a regular, technically, and so is Mr. Terrific.
Laurel? Is Laurel
No.
a regular?
I don't know if she is this season or not. I'm not sure. I don't know. Like, I'm cool with it. I just don't know. With the storyline that they've already set up, I don't get how that fits, and if they're just gonna undo what they did, or if we're gonna see the Thea thing play out over the next 5 episodes.
The only thing I would want is if Merlin comes back, which I would be totally for, because they already set up that there's other pits, and then he turns Thea completely.
Maybe.
And then he joins the team to like kind of help bring her back.
Here's the thing: I assume that she's not gonna be in this universe anymore. Like that actress is gone at this point.
She's pretty terrible, so I'm not sad about it.
Yeah, like she's not. She's fine. She's fine.
The only other thing I've seen her in, she was in a really bad movie with what's his name that plays Vision? What's it called? Like Legion.
Paul Bettany.
Oh. Paul Bettany with the Angels.
She's in that?
Wait a minute, she's in. Holy shit! Wait, who was it? Are we talking about Dinah?
No.
Thea.
Oh, hang on. I'm looking this up right now.
Is that the movie with
it.
Doug Jones as the ice cream man?
Yeah.
Whatever.
She's the character whose mom like goes nuts and like tries to kill the kid.
Oh, okay.
And then she's to spoil the ending, she's driving with them at the end when they crashed a car. And the dude from Tokyo Drift and the other girl, the only ones to survive.
Holy shit! Adrienne Palicki's in this movie too.
Yeah,
Dennis Quaid is as well.
Yeah. Adrienne Palicki's the one that has the baby at the end.
Yeah.
And her and Tokyo Drift, Friday Night Lights guy are the ones that survive. Them and the baby.
Man, this poor girl can't catch a fucking break. Everything she's in is a dud.
I mean,
which one? Thea or Adrienne Palicki?
Adrienne Palicki.
As a movie, this was a dud, but I mean, it led to that vampire movie. Remember?
Isn't she on that Seth MacFarlane show?
I think she is.
She's on the Orville, and she was in John Wick. She's the assassin who attacks him in his hotel.
Yeah. And she was in that Wonder Woman pilot.
Yeah, she's also in the pilot for Supernatural.
And she's in the better G.I. Joe movie.
And she's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for like 3 seasons, and they tried to spin her off and they failed.
They did?
Well, no, they decided to back out of it.
She's Mockingbird in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, God, really?
Yes. And they tried. She had like an ex-husband, and they tried to set them up for a spin-off, and then they made a pilot, and it was so bad that they didn't go any further.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Was she not also in the failed Wonder Woman pilot?
Yes, she was.
Oh my god, that hurts.
Yeah.
Well, and there was just a side note on the movie Legion. There was also a Sci-Fi Channel show called Dominion that was supposed to take place after. Yeah, 25 years after.
Are you fucking kidding me? I didn't know that.
Why?
Because Sci-Fi
they
Channel.
find a village.
Remember
it's a channel called Sci-Fi that's spelled S-Y.
They made a sequel to House of the Dead. That's why.
Hey, there is one show on Sci-Fi currently that I watch and I love.
I know.
The Magicians.
Okay, that's not.
I was like,
not
don't say
surprising.
Krypton, don't say Krypton.
Wait, was that
the
the one that I saw a clip of recently that had a rabbit saying "Eat my ass"?
Yes, it is. They do the awesome thing where you watch it on demand. They don't cut any of the cursing.
Right.
But yeah, in that world, there's like weird things where they can communicate, and there's like rabbits that can travel. It had to do with it was a world with magic, and they lost magic.
Right. Anyways, I'm not making fun of sci-fi. It's just like sci-fi is very inconsistent, and it's also, it was also run by the woman who decided that Battlestar Galactica should be canceled for a while. So we've talked about her on previous episodes. She also is responsible for Esquire.
Bonnie Hammer or who else?
Bonnie Hammer, yes. Bonnie Hammer, yes. The woman who created Esquire Network.
I'm so mad that woman has like. I'm going to use the word infected various parts of like my personal fandoms.
I know.
Like she ruined wrestling. How do you ruin wrestling? Wrestling's already ruined. You can't. It takes effort to make wrestling like worse than it is.
Yeah.
And she's like, everyone's going to wear suits. Everyone, except John Cena and the Undertaker. But everyone's going to dress like the McMahons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Put the McMahons on television all the time. Make every story revolve around them. Yeah. Now let's make a bunch more shows with white guys in suits. Hell, let's call one Suits.
Yes.
I wonder, was she there? I don't know if any of you guys watched, but there was a show that had alphas. Did she cancel that?
No, that was probably after her time. Because, again, she ran G4 when it became Esquire.
No, Alphas was on Sci-Fi.
I know, but it's the same. Yeah. It's the same.
Oh, it's the same people.
Yeah, it's the same group of. It's the same cable network. Technically,
conglomerate of idiots.
Yes.
Because that show was like the best X-Men show that's ever been made. Well, I haven't seen. What's the one that
I've heard that.
Gifted. I haven't seen that, but Alpha's was awesome.
Gifted is the show we all keep talking about, saying like, yeah, we've heard good things, but
Alpha's had what's his name? Strathaeum, the guy. I can't remember what he's from. He's an awesome actor, and he was their Professor X.
Interesting.
I'm gonna Google his picture. I'll send it in the chat.
Wait, hold on. Like an actual X-Men show, or like just a show about like mutants?
It was a show about.
It's like Mutant X.
They were like, but they were like real world. So like there was like a guy that had super strength, but it wasn't super strength. He could control his fight or flight. And there was a girl with super senses, but how they worked is she could turn all of them off but one, and it would enhance the other. Kind of like if you're hear better.
That's an interesting idea.
So they have enhanced abilities, but like it all comes down to like mind over matter.
Kind of. But they had like kind of versions of characters. So there was like a girl that was kind of like Taskmaster, who she could like watch someone do something, she'd learn it. But she had
Hunter's ears are perked up.
Yeah, she had no long-term memory.
It reminds me of that reminds me a little bit of Irredeemable, and like the big twist in Irredeemable is that like Plutonium doesn't actually have any powers. His power is that as long as he thinks he has powers, he'll have infinite of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that kind of sounds like Captain Britain, where it's his belief in himself is what powers his strength.
That's like Hyperion.
Yeah.
It's like Ryan Reynolds in the Green Lantern film.
Speaking of which, like Eric, I don't know who the fuck Hyperion is, but now I do because he dominates the entire first section of that Avengers story I'm reading.
Yeah.
He's Superman, except like more badass.
Yeah, he's Squadron Supreme. He was.
I have a question regarding those books because I cracked them already. I started them. Did this lead into Secret Wars?
Yeah, that's the end of this entire run. Is Secret Wars is the finish of all of the Hickman Avengers run.
Okay, because I'm reading it and they're showing me different universes like 616. I was like, wait a second, I read Secret Wars before I read this.
Okay, yeah, well, now you know where it all came from. Yeah. Cool. No, Hyperion is also second question. Is the Spider-Man in this current run right now that I'm seeing Doc Ock? Because he's a shithead. Yes, it is.
Oh my god!
The Superior Spider-Man overlapped with the Avengers.
He's such a piece of shit. I have not read any Spectacular Spider-Man yet, and now I must.
Yeah, you should. Because, it's quite good.
What was he doing that I saw? He was eating someone's lunch. It was like
he was eating and
Sunspot's lunch.
Yes.
And like they walk up to like, what are you doing?
Sunspot's like, it's microbiotic.
He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know. I'm eating lunch. It's kind of gross. He's like, my name's on it. He goes, I'm not concerned with small details. Chucks it back to him and goes, it's disgusting, by the way.
Yep. And then
walks right to Tony Stark and goes like, who are those jack-offs in the cafeteria I just had to run into? Because we have to talk about children in this building respecting me. I'm like, hold on. You're Peter Parker. What's happening here?
Yep. Yeah, no, Hyperion was from Squadron Supreme, which was Marvel's JLA thing.
Yeah, they did two different versions because there's the old school one in the orange outfit.
Yep.
And they did a version that kind of tied into the Ultimates a bit in like the 2000s, which was really
in the Max universe.
Yeah, which was really interesting.
It was the one that J. Michael Straczynski did.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and it didn't. But it didn't end, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
No, it got canceled because they had like a Green Lantern, which was Prism.
Mm-hmm.
And they had like an Aqua Woman, where she was literally like a fish woman.
A child.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman was this like despot.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. And Hyperion, their Batman was Nighthawk.
Yes. Yeah.
And he was like a self-made billionaire, like black billionaire. It was really interesting.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we lost everyone else.
One person. I just looked at the IMDb for that show, Alphas. Marshala Ali was in it.
Wow. Whoa.
And then I sent the picture. David Stratham. Yeah, he was their Professor X.
Yeah.
But it was like a crazy show. It was really interesting, and they canceled it for. I can't remember what that show was. It was like Defiant that they made a video game that coincided with it. So they canceled it for that.
I remember this thing. They
only did 2 seasons, and it was such a good show.
Wait,
conceptually,
wasn't this the fucking? It was a free-to-play game, right?
Yes, and it was garbage.
I cannot remember the name of that game to save my life.
It was Defiance Defiance.
They were the same name. It was like a. There was a really bad, like it's like you said. It was Richard Roxburgh who played Dracula in Van Helsing. The worst part of that whole movie, you ask me. And he was in the TV show, and then you could like meet his character, and like your character might run into his character on the TV show. Like if you created a character and what happened was interesting, you could show up on the show, but an actor would play you. At least that's what they said. I don't know if that ever actually happened or not.
No, that show only lasted like a season or two, I think.
I feel like it lasted for 3. It's just people stopped paying attention. It
was so bad.
This is a weird tangent.
We're a long way away from T.J. Miller in Deadpool 3.
Or Colton Haynes.
He's not going to be. And Colton Haynes in Arrow Season 7. I mean, like, if he comes back, he's probably going to be replacing somebody because the cast can't really afford to grow anymore. It's kind of bolstered the moment.
Yeah,
I think Watchdog, like we said, is gone.
I think so too. I think he's gonna have like 2 more episodes left, and then he's done. Most likely.
Okay, like the show needs to stop introducing characters who are kind of immediately cool, and then just disposing of them.
Yeah.
Because
they did a good job of making me get pissed off at his character.
They did. They did a fairly good job.
Oh yeah, no. This season has done a fantastic job of making me hate everybody.
Yeah, it's not like what was his name, Ragman, where I was like, oh, he's pretty cool. And
I
he's way
like
too powerful.
Ragman, and he is way too powerful, and I wish he would come back. And like they left the door wide open for him to come back, and he's never going to.
Right, he had to go.
At least I don't think he is.
Because he has to find those dank rags.
And like the CW especially loves just fucking poochy people, and like Ragman is on the pile of people who've been poochied.
I mean, yeah, because that actor probably had other things that he wanted to do.
Maybe if they do that Justice League Dark show, they'll bring him back because he would fit into that.
I'd be so into that. Speaking of people going away and then coming back, I don't know what that segue was. Okay, so let's talk about the Titans photos. Okay, I'll say this: Raven looks fine. There's nothing wrong with Raven so far, but the other two.
Okay, now, we have to say something about the context of these photos. The context of these photos that shows their quote-unquote street attires.
Right.
Behind-the-scenes footage. They're not official photos.
Yes.
So you have to kind of take them with a grain of salt.
They're not in context either. That's the thing.
There is very little reason for Starfire to be dressed up like a dime store hooker I see on Boulder Highway here in Las Vegas. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care that she's black because it doesn't matter. She's orange in the comics. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, she could change her skin color for all we know. Like, whatever.
And she's a cat person.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're like, and if this is maybe her, like, kind of trying to go through different looks, fine. But on the surface, holy shit, that's a bad fucking look.
Mm-hmm.
Well, from what I had read, because the actress apparently had spoken out about people's...
spoken out about it because, like, people came out were saying some fucking awful things about her.
Thankfully, I didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. I refused to go looking for it because I expose myself to enough of the internet's gross underbelly as it is. I have a Facebook. Like I don't fucking need to go seek out other people's like toxicity.
But here's my question: are they gonna make her that she's orange all the time, or are they gonna try to do this like on-off thing? Because
they're probably gonna do the same thing with Beast Boy. He's probably gonna be
would bother me.
A little white kid with green hair and most of the time, and then when they have to, he's gonna have green skin.
That would piss me off. That's part of those characters living in that world is they can't hide who they are.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, Beast Boy is being played by an Asian guy, correct? Was I wrong based off those pictures?
He looked it, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm fine with that, but like, he doesn't look. His makeup looks bad. Like it looks like a cosplay makeup, which is fine when you're doing cosplay or like a fan film or something like that. But this
here's the thing. I feel like, and those official costume photos of them in like their suits like the ones I've seen look really good. However, I feel like we are about to hit an era of like, actually, we've already hit that era because Iron Fist and Inhumans have already happened.
I think you're missing the big one, which was Apocalypse.
Oh no! I'm specifically talking about TV.
Oh, okay.
I think we're about to hit a really bad stride in comic book television. I have a feeling in my bones. I don't know what it is. Also, I saw another trailer for Cloak and Dagger, and I am no more convinced that it's not going to be a pile of shit.
I mean, okay.
It's a tween show, though. It's on a network that has, like, some terrible garbage on it.
Yeah.
I only know because my wife watches a bunch of the shows on there for some reason. I don't know. Because they have a show with, like, deaf kids, and every other episode, it's like they can't cram enough drama. There's like, oh, this guy's having a kid. Oh, it has Down syndrome. Oh, now this person's a lesbian. Now there's dating. Yeah, it's a channel where every episode there's 15 different problems that go on that are so out of this world.
Oh, so it's Lifetime essentially.
Yes,
it's Lifetime for young girls. That's what it is.
For 15-year-old girls.
Yes.
Cool.
Oh, so nobody's getting beaten with a rod and molested in their homes. They're just getting dumped and cheated on.
No, there's molestation on some of those shows.
But you don't have any fun things like my husband, who's a cop, who's also a member of a jihad.
What?
I don't know. I'm just pulling a Lifetime movie out of my brain.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it's not
There's an old Jim Gaffigan bit where he's like, "You ever watched Lifetime? It's horrifying. It's like Mary Tyler Moore is beaten with a rod, and the Lifetime original rod."
Oh, like the slap.
Oh God. God. Ooh. Here's the thing about the slap, though. They stretched that out for a whole season of television.
I had to be. Was it you guys or was it my coworkers that had to like convince me that this was a real thing?
I think it was us, but it might have
because
been
it
both.
sounded like something that came from fucking Hard Times. Like it sounded like a joke.
No, it's a real thing.
I was
Zachary
like,
Quinto was there. And
I was like, this is the most Lifetime thing I've ever heard Lifetime do.
I know. I think if you asked Zachary Quinto, he would say he was not there.
It was a CG.
Wait,
a CG Zachary Quinto.
Wait, Hunter, did you just ask what's the slap?
No, I'm saying, oh, you're talking about the slap.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know about this Titan show. It's on their streaming service, I guess, which I guess I'm gonna sign up for.
It doesn't exist yet, right? Like they haven't.
It doesn't exist yet, no. But the show's being produced either way.
God.
So
we still have hope that Warner Brothers goes like this deal goes south and they could just sell it all off.
Maybe. I mean, if the streaming service doesn't go up by the time the show is done, they'll just put it on the CW, right? Like,
yeah, most likely.
Yeah, like I would imagine. Like if they produce a full show with full visual effects and stunts and all the things.
Go on the CW seed.
Yeah. Or I mean, you could put it on during the summer.
The only thing, like I know I saw one thing say that like I guess in some script leakage that there was something where like Bruce Wayne is going to show up in a flashback, and I was just like, who's going to play him? Like, how are they going to do that?
I mean...
Or is he like Supergirl Season 1 Superman, or he's just a shadow?
I hope not. I hope that doesn't happen.
Like, the effort this network goes to not show you fucking Batman is kind of insulting at this point. Because, like, they caved. They gave you Superman. They gave you Superman wholesale. There he is.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing stuff. He's fighting people. And
now,
like,
people care about Superman.
Well, I think the problem is what happened is they gave us that, and then people were like, "Oh, he's better than your movie Superman."
That's also true.
At this point, why worry about that? It's not like Warner Brothers is taking their movie universe seriously, considering they just tried to fucking sabotage it. Which is also like, it's weird that like, hey, no more Deathstroke for Arrow. Why? Because we're already using the movies. Oh, because you've been so careful with the movies recently.
Well, that's the second time they did Suicide Squad. The same thing. They did like 2 Suicide Squad episodes.
Yeah.
And then they said no more Suicide Squad. And no Suicide Squad video game either, because that made sense.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for that teaser, Rocksteady.
Fuck all you.
Well, is it their fault or is it Warner Brothers and their?
It was Warner Brothers because they didn't want to confuse the brand, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah, because it makes a lot of sense right now.
Oh, yeah. They didn't want to confuse the brand. That's why we have 2 Jim Gordons in continuity right now. Continuity right now.
Yeah.
We have 2 Bruce Waynes. Fuck you.
I know. I know. It's so dumb.
Supermans, 2 Flashes.
You have 2 Barry Allens. You have 2 Bruce Waynes. You have 2 Jim Gordons. You have 2 Supermen. Sorry. Soon to be 3 because Nick Cage is gonna voice him on the fucking screen in Teen Titans movie.
Sometime soon, 2 Wonder Woman. Like, here's the thing. Just admit you don't know what you're doing.
Nope.
And then hire somebody who does know what they're doing, Greg Berlanti, and let them do what they do best.
I showed Joe, and Arlen, you witnessed this entire exchange.
Yeah.
I posted a fight scene from Crisis on Earth X on his page, and he was like, "Why is this little sequence better than anything I've seen Warner Brothers push out of their movie universe?"
Yeah.
He's like, "This is better than the entire Justice League movie."
And I said they have 20 years of experience if you add it all up.
Yeah.
They have.
He's like the fighting is better choreographed. It looks better. It sounds better. He's like, I can tell just from looking at this that these characters and actors have tons of chemistry.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know anything about this show. That was immediately invigorating.
I mean, I said it during our crossover episode. Give the CW $60 million and they will make a better movie than anything the DCU has produced.
Yep.
Better. Yeah. They'll do a better job. I made the comparison months ago to Wrath of Khan. Wrath of Khan was more successful than Star Trek the Motion Picture because it was made by the TV division of CBS. It was not made by the movie division.
And it lives and breathes in TV lore. It's all based on old TV stuff. Mm-hmm. You're going to drag those old Star Trek fans who are like, I'm done. Ooh, Khan.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is the problem these big studios have, and only a couple of them have kind of gotten out of the way, where it's still, if you listen to other creators talk about it, I know Kevin Smith has talked about it when pitching Superman. It's like, oh, why don't you just bring in, the comic book writers? It's like, oh, they can't write this, blah, blah, blah. It's that's still that same thing. It's oh, they can't do this.
And those are comic book people, Kevin.
Yeah. So now these are TV people. They can't make movies. Well, neither can the guys you're giving movies to.
Yeah.
When the comic book people won't put a giant spider in their Superman movie either.
Right.
So.
That's true. That's true.
I don't want him saving anybody. Okay, it's done. He's a killer, right? Superman's
we can't do those dinner scenes. They're so expensive, Kevin. You have someone flying.
Get that suit off him. I don't want that suit anymore. It's too faggy.
God damn it.
Have any of you guys actually watched the documentary?
Oh, that's what I'm quoting directly.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. Okay,
And then I want to go to Forge of Solitude, and I want him to fight Superman. Why? Superman's guards. Why would he fight Superman's guards? He's Superman. Why does he have guards?
Because.
The only cool thing he ever thought of was the skull ship.
Yeah, that was cool. He was wearing an Iron Man suit for the first part of it or whatever. That made it into Man of Steel also, kind of.
The
battle suit. Oh, God. That and the giant octopus.
I like how, it's that fucking ship and its fucking legs and tentacles is it's 2 timelines converging.
Yeah.
Where it's John Peters got his way, but he didn't get his way.
At the same time. It's so good. It's so good. Here, John.
He got a giant mechanical animal that Superman had to fight.
I love it so
much. Well, it's
much.
because he's from the streets.
Right. He's from the streets. He's had.
Right.
I've won over 50 street fights. Yeah, so good. So good.
Hey, he's up there. He's up there, Frank Dukes. All right.
God damn it.
Bloodsport was a lie.
Anyways, let's move on to something that should be better, I guess. Incredibles 2, the trailer. We all saw it, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw a teaser. I didn't know there was a full trailer out.
There's a full trailer. It's good. Go watch it. Go ahead.
Really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's looking like Elastigirl is going to be the main character this time around, or at least the main superhero.
Give me what I want.
Learn that women can't be Jedi.
No,
exactly.
Women can't go to space.
All I know is it gives me the trailer gave me way more Sam Jackson than I thought they would. And I am
I love that they're bringing the wife back. I can't wait. Where is my super suit?
All right,
what is the line in the trailer?
I'm gonna mute you guys real fast, so I'll be right back.
All right, but while he's talking, I like this trailer. I like that it gives us a sense of who the villain is. That's kind of important for me. Like,
well, like a little bit, like, which is good.
Yeah,
we got
just
like
enough.
that face on the TV.
Also, he's Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
No, nobody's confirmed that, but he's Bob Odenkirk. Like, come on. Like,
oh.
That's so good.
I
like that they brought back the old woman too.
Yeah, that's pretty great too. But yeah, like, it's a good trailer. I like it more than the last one. The last one really didn't give us a sense of like where everything was, I guess, like how the pieces fit together and what the movie would actually be. It was kind of just footage of
it was
Jack.
The trailer. I thought you meant the first movie. I was gonna be like,
no, the first trailer. Yeah. Like, it didn't really work as a trailer. It worked as like a funny scene, I guess. So yeah,
it's funny. Like, I was telling my wife about, I was like, oh yeah, like, she's going out and she's working and she's like the breadwinner and he's stuck with the kids, and the daughter is now this like sullen teenager.
Yeah.
Like, even more sullen than the first movie.
Right.
Like, she's straight like 17-year-old girl.
Yeah. I love that by now though she's like 40. Like, the woman who played her, because she was 30 in the first one. So.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
Voice actors doesn't really matter, I guess, but yeah, like.
No, I mean, I'm showing my Dragon Ball Z ignorance, but didn't the same woman who voiced Goku for years, like, die recently, and she was, like, 80-something?
Yeah.
Oh my, I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, like, she'd voiced him through every iteration of Dragon Ball.
Nope, it wasn't Goku, it was Bulma, and that broke my heart, actually, because she's voiced, I think she was, like, the voice of Bulma throughout the entire anime run, and then she recently passed away.
Okay. I knew it was somebody in that Dragon Ball universe.
It makes sense since we don't see her speak again for like a huge chunk of the end of the Super.
Really? I didn't know. I'm still working on Super. Like, I'm going through the dubbed version. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I watched the Japanese. I'm trying to think. I'm not going to spoil anything, but like, there's like a certain part when they go do something, and like that's it. They like show the character in flat, like when they come back, but she doesn't talk.
That's honestly really heartbreaking because, like, I think that entire team has been intact since, like, the entirety of its run on TV. Like, the voice of Goku is still fucking working.
Yeah, they're all the same people.
Yeah, that's nuts. That really sucks, actually.
Yeah, the only person that's left the team is now Toriyama, and it's the other guy now that's running the ship.
Yeah, it's like his understudy. It's like the dude he's, like, entrusting the entire series to.
And didn't he start off doing, like, fan art or something online?
Something like that, yeah. I just finished the trailer. I'm really into Mr. Incredible being stay-at-home dad with fucking dark circles under his eyes, just dealing with the fact that his new baby boy has all the superpowers.
Yep, it's pretty good.
Well, he's like Franklin. Yeah. If they're the Fantastic Four, he's like Franklin.
But he's not a dick.
Yeah.
So
he's still a baby.
There's still potential.
He doesn't like see his mom and uncle die and then turn into Galactus for some reason.
Wait, hold on. Was that recent? Because I don't know.
No, that's a real deep cut. That was Earth X.
Earth X. Yep.
Wow.
Does everybody
like
the Earth X?
Alex Ross artistry, which is the best.
Well, he did the covers. It was based on his ideas.
Yeah, his designs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, hold the phone. You said Alex Ross. I'll go fucking read that shit.
Yeah.
No, you should.
It's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's actually really cool because like it's only 3 series. It was like Earth X, Universe X, and Paradise X, I think.
Mm-hmm. And it brings in a lot of characters that were like not really talked about.
Mm-hmm. And it does just really interesting things that I've never seen with like an Elseworlds, for lack of a better term, tale.
It gets really religious in a very interesting way.
There's like one point where the Absorbing Man has basically turned into Manhattan.
He's awesome in it too.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. You should, Connor.
Well, I mean, I feel like I'm meeting characters for the first time in this Avengers run you gave me, because like Captain Universe, no idea who she was.
There's a point where Spider-Man actually had the Captain Universe powers.
See, and that's where I recognize that suit from. Hyperion, didn't know who that was. Smasher, had no fucking idea.
Oh yeah, Imperial Guard, man. Come on, get with it. X-Men.
Is he one of the guys under Gladiator?
Yeah, she's it's a woman who got the goggles because I think it's an offshoot of the Grant Morrison run on New X-Men, when Cassandra Nova took over Professor Xavier's body and ended up taking out most of the Shi'ar, or at least the Imperial Guard.
I haven't read since they did. Was it like War of the Kings when they had the other Summers brother?
Oh, War of Kings. Yeah, that was actually quite good. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually didn't mind the goofiness of the other Summers brother, and when they brought in.
Well, they finally answered that question that they'd hinted at for years. Yeah.
Shi'ar are so goofy.
What question?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What question is that?
What? No, what? I don't have a question. What are you talking about?
Oh no, you said they finally answered the question. That everybody's.
Oh yeah, of who the third Summers brother was.
Yeah.
It was something that Mr. Sinister had dropped years ago in a storyline, and said like, "Oh, you think you're the only Summers brother?" And then nothing happened for years and years and years.
Something Summers brother.
Oh, well, they did the most comic book thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
He was aged up.
Oh yeah.
So was he like 10 or something like that, or 13 in a like adult 27-year-old's body?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
But Incredibles 2, like Incredibles 1 is one of my favorite Pixar movies, so I'm gonna eat this up when it comes out.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm most worried about though, is that like I've been waiting and hoping and waiting for a sequel to the Incredibles, and now that it's coming, I'm like,
See, okay, here's the thing. Like Cars 2 and Cars 3 should make me weary of Pixar sequels for the rest of my life.
Right.
Wait, what about planes?
But Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3 also exist, so I can't really get too upset about it.
True.
Well, I've never actually watched
Toy
Story movies.
Wait, what?
They're so good.
Yeah, I've never watched a single Toy Story film.
Jesus Christ, Eric.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
We have finally found something worse than me not finishing fucking the New 52 Batman run.
It's up there, definitely.
It is.
No,
it is far worse.
It's never been of interest to me.
They're so good.
It's just never been of interest to me.
Toy Story 3 is like one of the most shockingly mature children's movies I've ever sat through.
Eric, were you ever a child?
Well, I think those movies.
No, Eric was born 25.
I feel like those movies mean more when you're older, though. Like
they do. No, okay, Eric. The third one touches on that moment in your life where you realize that you have to grow up. Like you have to throw away the things that made your childhood. That's what the movie's about.
But then it takes that perspective and spins it back on toys who can think and feel.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of that, but
then it teaches you to accept death.
Also, it takes place in a horrifying reality where toys don't die. That's the other thing.
Well,
toys don't. No,
they do die if
they
people
do
see
die.
them moving. Yeah.
No, they don't.
No, they definitely die.
No.
The third one, it's like they're gonna die.
But you don't know whether they will, though. Like, they could live the rest of their lives as melted plastic, potentially.
Okay.
Because in the first one, what do you know about the first one, if anything?
It's what is it? It's I can't even remember at this point. Like, yeah, it's toys are talking, and he's
Eric's
gonna get.
Eric's like the cowboy man's very
okay. At one point, they run into a boy who has been making
his own toys. Yeah, and
yes, he's been making Mangala-esque mutant
Yeah.
toys. He's been taking Rector sets and like baby dolls and like merging them together. Like to make one
and he
toy.
ends up, he's the one who's the garbage man in the third movie.
God.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. What that means is that the baby toy didn't die and the Rector set didn't die. They both continued to live as one organism. So you can take a toy's head off and it still lives.
But is the life in the head of the toy?
No, that's the thing. Every individual piece is alive still. That's what you learn in this universe.
Maybe I'll have to rewatch this.
The individual pieces of toys in Toy Story continue to live.
You're correct because Sid takes the legs of a Barbie doll and attaches a fishing rod to the torso, and that's it. Yeah, a hooker.
Yeah.
So would they really exist as just like a pile of plastic?
Possibly.
That's horrifying. That makes it even worse.
They could just like exist, like melted into the garbage, like help me.
Do their minds become one, or are they just trapped together?
I'll say somebody superheats this piece of plastic. It becomes like a Doctor Who villain. This is like 75 voices all going at the same time.
Help!
Where's Andy?
But yeah, like, God, Eric, you need to watch the Toy Story movies. Jesus Christ.
We'll see what happens.
He's like, he's a strong word.
Well,
Pixar gave us the best Fantastic Four we've ever had.
They did. I'm into Incredibles too. This trailer, I was already gonna watch it, but I'm excited for it now. So that's what this trailer did.
I mean, I'm not gonna mince words. I'll see it regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah. I just worry about this long time period between the first one and this one.
Hey, worse things that could have happened. You could have waited 23 years for a new Tron movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm a fan of the second Tron.
I also love Tron Legacy. However, it just it stunk up the box office apparently, and Disney was like, nah.
Well,
no.
It did well, but Disney was
Tomorrowland
still disappointed. That happened.
Tomorrowland tanking is what killed Tron 3.
Tomorrowland wasn't bad.
Yes.
Wait, why did Tomorrowland tanking kill Tron 3?
Because they're both original ideas.
Yeah.
They're both they're not like part of an established franchise.
And it's also not selling Disney princesses. It was a little bit more action oriented.
Oh, wait, you know what? Okay, here's what I knew about Tron Legacy years later was that Tron Legacy was the proto attempt to grab the male audience before they had their hands on Marvel or Star Wars.
Yeah, because is Bob Iger? Yeah, Bob Iger, he took over the company and he stopped making those direct-to-DVD sequels that they were doing, like The Lion King 2. Well, okay, that's different. But Scar's Tribe? Like, Cinderella 2 and fucking... What was the other one?
Electric Boogaloo.
Further Adventures of Pocahontas when she goes to England.
Yeah, that's
a real thing.
Oh God!
Oh no!
They continue.
Is that where she got the smallpox?
So would Pocahontas 3 be like Last of the Mohicans, and it's just a bloodbath and violence?
That would be much better than what they did do. Yeah, like I don't know where we're going with this. I've lost the train of thought. But no, like when he took over, he wanted to mine their boy movies, basically. Like that's probably why The Rocketeer was happening for a while. I don't know if it's still happening or not.
I love that original movie.
I do too. It's a great film. Directed by the director of the first Avenger. So yeah. I don't know. Do we want to move on to another trailer that was not good?
Oh yeah, which friend of the show, Ed Bauman, apparently the company he works for, was doing a lot of special effects on that.
Okay, so here's the thing. I will say this up front.
What is this?
Meg.
Meg.
You're
like Family Guy.
No, you know what? I am in the minority. I can't wait for this.
Really?
Fucking give it to me.
Oh,
Here's the thing.
Great. This looks hilariously awesome.
Okay.
This is like Deep Blue Sea, but it better have just as good of a song with it.
Well, they won't. That's not possible.
But my head is like a shark fin.
My head is like a shark's fin. No, okay, so here's the thing. When I heard the initial pitch, I was in. The actual movie, the trailer looks bad. It does not look good at all to me.
It's like big budget Sharknado. That's all it is.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, I will say this.
Here's what it actually
is. The visually, it looks good.
It's big budget Connor's worst fucking fear is what it is. So just give it to me.
I don't know. Like, I'd rather watch that Blake Lively movie again. Like, personally,
I like that movie too.
Yeah, yeah. She kills a shark with an anchor. Spoilers, but she does that. It's fucking awesome.
That movie rules. And
she's like a Soul Calibur fighter.
Well, she it's kind of like Jaws actually. Like it's a better Jaws. No, it's more like a Jaws 2 sequel kind of in a weird way. Yeah,
it's like a scene from Jaws they managed to successfully stretch into a 90-hour movie.
Yes.
90 hours. My
90
God.
hours. Yes.
It's like if you just followed the woman from the beginning of Jaws.
It's like Planet Earth, except that it's just one woman on a rock.
Yes.
No. First of all, I like Hollywood big killer shark movies. Big fan of. And also, like at this point, I don't care if this trailer was made out of cardboard and construction paper. I've been hearing about this fucking movie for what feels like 15 years.
I mean,
Just give me the goddamn movie already.
Here's the thing, I'll still watch it because Jason Statham versus a shark is still something I need to see.
Yeah, if it's Crank underwater, I'm down.
Yes.
That's what I want. But this movie does not look like that.
No, this movie looks like a giant great white eats China.
And here's the thing, it's John Turteltaub, who is not... He's not a good director at all.
Wait, what is he done?
He directed the National Treasure movies, and the first one is fine.
Oh, don't you dare. I love those movies.
I know. Where's Hunter? I thought he was our National Treasure historian.
I love those movies. I went to school for history.
The National Treasures storage.
What
was that? What was that?
Are you asleep?
Keep going.
Oh,
Ruby you could just like drop out and go to sleep. You don't have to stick around.
Okay.
I'll say. What do you think I'm going to do when the show is over?
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like
that first.
But no, like, I don't know. John Turteltaub's not a good director. He also directed, like, The Three Ninjas or whatever. Like, he's not...
Whoa.
Well, the first one or Kicks Back?
I don't remember, but he...
I grew up on those movies. They're part of my childhood.
Okay.
Light up the eyes, boys. Light up the eyes.
I don't know what to tell you. Like, Lost in Space, the movie, is part of my childhood. You don't see me defending that bullshit.
No, that's
it's garbage.
That's because Lost in Space movie sucks.
Because that had Joey from Friends in.
Yeah, it's real bad. As I've said before, the only good part actually is when Joey gets into that Iron Man suit and he's like shooting spiders or whatever. That's a good part.
Don't you shoot down three ninjas? Yeah, Hulk Hogan was in the third one, I think.
Yeah, a full head of hair, mustacheless Hulk Hogan. It's the weirdest thing you'll ever see.
What?
High Noon at Mega Mountain. God damn it. This is a real thing?
Yes.
Wait a minute, did the three ninjas grow up throughout the movies? Is that what happened?
Well, they replaced them, the actors.
Yeah, none of the actors ever came back for any sequels.
Okay, so by the third one, they were adults, and they looked like Jay and Silent Bob.
They're like high schoolish.
Okay. Alright, I guess. That makes sense.
Nothing is alright with that, but continue.
Okay, I don't know, like, this trailer did not convince me.
Shitting on my childhood.
Whatever.
I will shit on your childhood from a great distance. Do not worry. Give me time.
My childhood.
That's what I'm here to do.
Yeah, like Alan, who said, what was it? I saw a comment on a post from like when the first Last Jedi trailer came out, and he said they're retconning my childhood. It's like, no, they're not.
What?
They're not retconning your childhood.
Alan, if anybody, they're retconning my childhood, okay?
Your childhood, motherfucker. I was alive when the second movie came out.
Yeah, you were like 18 when the second movie came out, right?
When Empire came out in 80, I was 2. Give me a break.
I know. It's just the...
I didn't realize I'm not the oldest person in the room.
Oh, no. I just turned 40.
I'm only 31, so...
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, Lou, and you and I are the same age.
Yeah.
I was born after Nirvana.
My childhood of Star Wars
had
to do with midichlorians, so...
Oh...
Yeah, I mean, Lou, I've when I turned 30, I had a coworker walk up to me and she was like, "You're 30? Wow, you're like half dead." I've told that story a lot of times, but I feel like new people have to hear it every time.
It's funny every time. No, I don't know. Meg, I'll watch it. I will see it. I will be in the theaters. Like,
here's the thing. It's already a movie dumpster pick. Like, we're already doing it.
Mm-hmm.
We made the decision.
And I'm going to crash through the walls and be your first guest. I will be there.
It's something better than... What was that? Did they have like a... Wasn't there like a hurricane movie that came out a couple months ago?
Holy shit. Geostorm?
No. I know which one he's talking about. The Hurricane Heist.
Heist, yeah.
Oh, no, the one that had the AC/DC track playing continually. Shit, I can't remember what song it was.
Yeah, I think it was Hurricane Heist, but...
Yeah. They use that.
I heard Geostorm 2 also described as the last dying breath of a genre.
Well, it's what the who's his name?
Gerard Butler?
No, the writer of
Oh yeah, it's that guy. He makes all those movies. He did Day After Tomorrow.
Well, he did. Well, no, that's where they broke up. That's where Independence.
Oppenheimer.
No, it's
no,
the one guy who is a 9/11 truther.
Yeah,
Roland Emmerich.
No,
he was the director.
It's his writer, his writing partner.
Oh.
They broke up after Day After Tomorrow. I want to say because they didn't work on 10,000 BC or Independence Day 2, which
was awesome.
No, it wasn't, and no.
Devlin. It's Dean Devlin.
Dean Devlin, yes, that's right.
I'm thinking of Orky and what's his face. That was the team. That the one guy was a 9/11 truther.
He also believed aliens are real. So and that they are here.
That's because they are, you motherfucker.
That's right. The reptilian invasion is here. Infecting us with liberal media.
Oh my god! I didn't know that Kurtzman and Ortsy wrote Amazing Spider-Man 2.
They did.
A lot.
Okay, if it's bad in the last 10 years, it's probably their fault. It's probably their fault.
Actually, yeah. Let's real quick. Let's go down a list. Starting in 2017, The Mummy.
Wait, which one?
The newest one.
The Tom Cruise one.
Oh.
The Mummy, Now You See Me 2, The Brothers Grimsby, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Ender's Game, Now You See Me, Into Darkness, Cowboys and Aliens.
Ooh.
Yep.
How did they get past like 2 of those?
Because they made Transformers and it made $700 million.
There's Now You See Me, Now You See Me 2.
Oh, you said Now You See Me 2.
Which, okay. Well, we can go in a rant in itself why the second movie is not called And Now You Don't.
Yeah, well, that's because people.
Because I didn't watch the first one.
You're good. You didn't need to. You're fine.
It's completely inoffensive. It's just dumb.
Yep, it's just there. It exists. It's
Although,
a piece of matter.
If you go by a post I saw from Arlen from a few years ago, it's one of the one of the biggest pieces of shit ever made or something like that. One of the worst films ever made.
I hated that film. It's really bad. It's not good. They reused a twist from fucking what the Kaiser Soze movie with the Usual Suspects.
The Usual Suspects.
They reused
so
a
the
twist
guy they're
from
talking
that.
to the whole time is the actual big bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of.
Bravo, Lou! You just cracked the whole movie. Congratulations.
Yeah. It's it's almost like the movie wasn't that smart, and they reused plot points from other movies and then called it a new movie. Yeah, that's kind of what happened.
Don't make fun of Amazing Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 1 like that.
Don't make fun of Star Trek Into Darkness like that.
Don't make fun of Ninja Turtles like that.
Yeah, you can really apply it to everything with the exception of Transformers. And even that.
Apply to anything where a giant device shoots something into the sky and X.
Like, people blame superhero movies for that.
Depends.
That's Transformers' fault.
Transformers rips off itself, because every single movie, they're trying to get the thing that's going to destroy the world or save everything.
Yep, the problem is, as those movies get progress, like, when you get to part 5, you realize that Michael Bay doesn't have object permanence. So when that thing isn't on screen, he just doesn't tell you about it.
Yeah. Well, because here's the thing: the later ones, that's Ethan Kruger, which, if you go down his IMDb page, it's an even darker hole, and some of it's not good at all. Yeah. Okay, this is a tangent. Fucking Meg.
All I know is that trailer sold me when Ray Wilson was describing Jason Statham.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, oh,
funny.
I was like, oh, he's kind of like a hero, but he's kind of a dick.
That's true.
Or whatever he says. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, that was funny. I'm not saying the movie doesn't look interesting still, but it's just like the trailer was not a well-made trailer. I thought it was just
this is a movie. If it's in between, I don't even know what's coming out at that time period. Mm-hmm. You're just like, oh, it's hot outside. I want to go to a movie.
That's true. Yeah, I will. Again, the effects are good though. I will say that. Like, Ed, good job, buddy. Good business.
Here's the thing. Like, all you had to show me really was like a distant shot of a giant fucking killer shark, under a bunch of swimmers. And I've already pissed myself because, like I said, I have what could be described as an irrational fear of sharks. They fucking terrify me. And then you make one supersized, like, nah, I'm petrified, but I'm also sold.
And it's not on a Sci-Fi Channel budget. That's another important thing. It's not being made by Uwe Okay, moving on. None of you are going to care about this next story, but I do, so whatever. Anson Mount, former star of
I know where you're going.
Former star of the Inhumans. Former.
I watched that entire show.
You did?
Yes, I did.
If you read between the lines, this is Inhumans being canceled, is what this is.
Right.
Well, he was already kind of canceled.
It's confirmed now because he's going to be playing Christopher Pike in Star Trek Discovery.
And see, that actually, you said you don't want to care. As soon as I read that, I was like, oh, you have my attention, because that's an important character.
Yes.
I still do not want to pay for CBS's garbage app.
You know you can just, get the free trial for 7 days and then watch it all and then not pay for another season.
You know, I could
cancel.
You know, I could go on the internet and probably just find it.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I will say this. This show is very good. I watched all of it in less than 2 days. That's how good it is. I was pleasantly surprised because I do not like what they've done with the Klingons. In much the same way I don't like the way that they redesigned Godzilla and Shin Godzilla. But the overall product is good enough that I don't care in the end.
Are the Klingons not Mongolian, Asian-y?
No, they're like...
That's kind of what they are supposed to be.
They're like xenomorphs.
Yeah, they're weird.
Hang on.
The Klingons are supposed to be like space Mongolians.
It was initially they were, and then they leaned into that. Well, originally, there was guys in red makeup with sort of Asian facial hair and eyebrows. And then in the 80s, they did the redesign, which is probably what most people think of when they think of Klingons. This redesign that they've done, and I've explained this to Eric before.
Whoa, too busy.
Yeah, it's so weird. And the problem is, it's supposed to be before the Klingons from the original series.
No, there's a picture of the original Klingons, Worf and these side by side. It's completely different.
Jarring.
Yeah, and it's just so from a canon perspective, it's like
these new Klingons don't look like aliens. They look like monsters.
Yeah, they're. It's a very distressing design to me.
And why are they purple?
That's the thing. They're all kinds of different colors. Some of them are purple.
Now, at this point, they don't look like any. They just look like a random alien species.
Yeah, it's a problem I have with the whole show. That said, the show is really good. This is technically a spoiler for Discovery, but since none of you watched it, I assume it's okay. The very end of Discovery, the last thing that you see in Discovery, is the Enterprise exiting warp and parking itself right next to Discovery.
Holy shit!
So it's that's an ending, to say the least.
You might have just sold me on the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
So does this show tie into the OG Star Trek, or
it does,
the new?
Because again, this might be a spoiler, might not be. The lead character is Spock's adopted sister. So, yeah.
I still cannot get over these Klingons. They look so weird.
I know.
They remind me of creatures from a horror movie, but I can't remember what.
They look like one, you could say Ghosts of Mars. Two, they look like characters from Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, but here's the thing. We're also not considering the fact that there is the Klingons were redesigned in the fucking Abrams movies too.
They were, but it was more like their armor because they had these masks on. But
yeah, you can't see them.
But otherwise, when you take the masks off, it's not that far off. You can buy that it was a small design change. It wasn't so different.
They look like the things from Prometheus, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. They kind of look like the
because they don't have
the engineers.
They don't have ears. Their ears are weird.
Yeah,
they're over designed. Is what it is.
And there are plot based things that might explain things. That that I don't want to go into.
So like an ethnic cleansing of all the people with over riches?
No, that's to say surgery is involved. That's what I'll leave it at. Surgery is involved.
So you're tying back into Toy Story.
Yes. If you cut a Klingon's ridge off, the ridge will continue to live.
Separate Klingon parts live independently from each other.
But no, like Anson Mount is a good actor. I didn't like the Western show he was on, but he was good in it.
He was the best part of Inhumans.
I've heard that as well. I've heard that he's the reason to watch it.
And he didn't speak. Imagine that.
Yes.
No, he did not speak one word.
Huh.
But yeah.
Real quick with the Klingons, I found I'll send it to the chat. Someone had photoshopped hair onto one of the Klingons from the show, and
I think I'm looking at that photo right now. It's fucking hilarious.
It actually doesn't look bad though in comparison to
that's
the other
thing.
ones.
I mean,
it kind of completes the look.
I was saying to Eric, like, just show me, because they say that there are 24 houses, like, as in like different groups of Klingons, different races of Klingons. It's like, show me a house with hair, and that's all I need. That's all.
And just say like they became the dominant house, so their gene pool was the one that took over everyone else's.
Yeah.
Or like this other one's like super inbred, and they just keep getting more deformed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like
and that's where the Ferengi come from.
Yeah, because the Klingons are like they are super repressive, and they don't like to interbreed or commingle at all. So I would very much buy the different, even individual houses don't like to breed with each other very easily.
I would say, because isn't here's how deep if my dad were around right now, he'd be clapping for me. Isn't Kira from Deep Space Nine part Klingon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think somewhere my dad's heart just grew 8 sizes.
But
now he's dead. That's fatal.
Yeah. So is B'Elanna Torres. She's also part Klingon.
Worf is supposed to be like the first Klingon in the in Starfleet. Whatever they are.
Yes.
Yeah, in Starfleet.
Yeah, he's the. It's because he was raised
y'all
on
gonna
Earth.
Y'all gonna make me go reinstall Star Trek Online after this.
No, that's a good thing.
Not a bad game at all, but it's an MMO, so it has those trappings.
Yeah. But it's interesting. This is a good casting. Christopher Pike, like you said, it's a very important character. I don't remember the exact timeline of Discovery, but I do believe Spock is on the ship at this point.
But if I remember, isn't Discovery supposed to connect to the original ones, right?
Yes, so the first season takes place during the Starfleet Klingon War. And,
but I mean, like, it's in the universe. It is in the universe of our original.
Yes, it's
William Shatner verse.
Yes, it's supposed
as opposed
to
JJ.
Yes, it's supposed to be prime Star Trek first, which is part of why these Klingons are bothersome to me. Like, if it was Earth 2 or something like that, I would be much cooler with it. But it's supposed to be the same Earth. All the events of the original Star Trek are going to happen down the line at some point. And apparently, and this is what's interesting, Zachary Quinto has been cast, I guess, along the line.
Holy shit.
As Spock, which is interesting. But yeah, he's supposed to be in it at some point.
Does that mean What's-His-Nuts can like show up as Kirk like at any moment?
That's the thing. I don't know, because again, they're recasting. They're recasting Pike also, so they're not recasting one. But
Zachary Quinto's like pay grade is much lower.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Quinto kind of comes and goes when it comes to movies. I've seen him more. He lives on TV mostly.
Didn't he do like 5 seasons of American Horror Story or something?
Yeah, he also loves playing Spock. That's the other thing. Like, Spock is a character that he deeply appreciates, and like he feels a sense of responsibility to the character because he became such like he became. I mean,
when you when you become Spock, like as the actor who's played Spock for decades, like exits, like you kind of have. There is a sense of responsibility you should feel.
So,
especially when you get that dude's blessing and then he dies.
Yeah.
It's like, oh fuck, I don't have a choice.
And you're not gonna give it to somebody else. Like, you're not gonna say like, yeah, sure, go ahead, somebody else play this role. You're gonna do it. It's 10 years before also. So Spock would have been, he would have been an ensign or a science officer by this point, I believe. That's my understanding. So yeah, that's a thing that's happening. I don't know if it's gonna be a good idea or not until it comes out.
I mean, shit. I mean, if you want to recast Kirk, just get one of them younger Hemsworth brothers who aren't doing a goddamn thing.
Ooh, yeah, you can get a.
Well, the one is back in Westworld.
Yeah, that's true.
He's in the trailer.
Yeah.
He's the forgotten one.
yeah, he is. Except for in Thor 3. That's where he's remembered for all time.
I know
him. I know him as the guy that the villain named Villain gets a knife kicked into him. In Expendables 2.
No, I'm talking about the guy who's playing Thor in the play.
Yeah. Wait, is that not Liam Hemsworth?
No, that's the other Hemsworth.
No, he's the other Hemsworth.
Who was the other Hemsworth's name? Who was his name?
I think
what
it's
is
Matt
his name?
Hemsworth.
He's
Matthew?
the other Hemsworth. He's the one that went in. He auditioned for Thor and brought his brother, and then his brother took the role.
He's the one that doesn't look like a clone.
He looks like a beefier Chris.
Luke Hemsworth.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
He does look like a beefier Chris, but like if you look at him and Liam and Chris, it's like Chris and Liam are like the same. Like
they're produced by the same lab.
Right. Yeah. And Luke is like, it's like if you squinted at him.
He's the resentful biological son.
Yeah.
He's the milkman's child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's the Danny DeVito.
He's also the shortest of the three. So yeah.
Well, then the Danny DeVito reference.
Funny story about bringing friends to casting. I guess like Mel Gibson got the role of Mad Max. I think he showed up one day, and like the dude who played Goose was originally up for Max, but then like I guess Mel got into a fight, showed up with bruises on his face, and George Miller was like, "Nah, that's Max."
Huh.
And Johnny Depp showed up to the set of Nightmare on Elm Street to support his friend Jackie Earle Haley, who was up for the role that Depp was supposed to get, or that Depp got. And Wes Craven's daughter was like, "No, please cast him. He's mesmerizing."
Was Jackie Earle Haley ever that young? What the
Well, he went from being a child to being like 45.
Yeah. Oh, so he had the same trajectory that I did.
It's weird that Jackie Earle Haley auditioned for Nightmare, lost it, and then years later played Freddy Krueger. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
In that movie that nobody talks about. Because it's bad.
Anyway.
He's
awesome in The Tick.
He's also awesome in Watchmen. But
yes.
Well, he was born to play the character.
He's also quite good in a movie called Little Children.
Have not seen that. He's also fantastic in Shutter Island for a few minutes you get to see him.
He's in Lincoln too.
Really?
Wow, I feel like I saw him everywhere after watching.
Yeah, he's the Confederate general that goes to meet Lincoln on the train or something.
Yes, that's right. He's like the ambassador or whatever.
Yeah, and he's like, "Please end the war. We're telling you to end the war. Like, we're giving up." And Lincoln's like, "No, I have to end slavery because this is historically accurate."
Slavery must end.
What's the next?
All
story?
right. So the final story that Alan was telling us in the chat will be very bad.
Well, what, new Bioshock?
Yes, the new Bioshock game.
Why would he tell us not to cover a new Bioshock game?
Because he said something about like an airplane hangar or something.
No, that's a game company, if I remember correctly, or at least a production company. I can't remember exactly who. Hangar 13.
Oh,
like they're
okay.
They're the ones who did Mafia 3, or at least were heavily involved in the production of that.
I've heard nothing bad about that.
Oh no, not that beautiful, engaging game with a really good story. Like
I've heard that game is amazing. Like
I think it's not that it's their bad companies. I think it's more that he thinks that everyone needs to know the backstory on these companies that are working on it. And
also, it seems like it's probably knee-jerk, oh my god, not Take-Two, it gonna be bad.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the thing. The only company that ever made a Bioshock game without Ken Levine, or is that right, Ken Levine?
Yes.
Yeah. The only one that ever made a game without Ken Levine made a pretty good game. It's a good game. Some of us on this podcast are deluded and think that it's the best of them, but it's still a good game. But no, like, it's still a really good video game. There is
nothing wrong with Bioshock 2.
Yeah, it's just that Infinite is a better game. And a better sequel. But
I disagree, but whatever.
But
the second one did introduce the dual wielding of plasmids.
And the little sisters are fucking awesome. Like,
I think the second one does something very important. I think it shows you what it's like to live as a Big Daddy.
Yeah,
not just walk around in shoes for a few hours. Like, Alpha's life fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Not Alpha. Delta's life sucks.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up from, like, I don't know, 15 years of being fucking dead.
Like, it does some interesting stuff. It's still a very interesting game.
He's dead, and he wakes up, he's like, where's my daughter? Hold on. Why is everything leaking?
Yeah. So, like, the level that you have to clear is pretty high. And as you can clear that level, you'll make a good game.
Bioshock doesn't have to be too many things, but it has to do those things well.
Yeah.
Combat has to be fun.
The aesthetic has to be good.
The aesthetic has to be good, and the story and world really have to cinch. Because the magic of Bioshock Infinite is that, like, upon a second playthrough, you're like, this game is fucking with me from the very moment it starts.
Yep.
Well, my biggest thing is I haven't gone back to Bioshock Infinite in quite a while. Like, I feel like at the time, like, I got it the day it came out because it's a new Bioshock game from Ken Levine, and it was very much lightning in a bottle at the time. Like, if you weren't part of that initial release of it, like, you didn't quite understand the magic of it because parts of it were ruined.
The magic comes in the fact that, like, one of your first encounters with Lutesses, they ask you to flip the coin. And they're like, oh, well, what is it? Like, they're like, oh, well, once in a million. And, like, they turn around and, like, there's been, like, 78 heads and 1 tails. Yeah. Because among the many timelines and universes, like, this event will basically go down this exact same way with minor variances and constants, like, with minor variances every time.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some things that never change. Like, when you get in the boat with the Lutesses to drive you to the lighthouse, they have a conversation that seems... They're like, does he row? He doesn't row. What do you mean? They're like, he doesn't row. And they're saying, like, in any timeline, in any universe, Book never picks up an oar.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing, like, having to go back and play it a second time was when I realized, like, a lot of the stuff the Lutesses were saying when you first run into them doesn't make any fucking sense. Mm-hmm. And it adds to this weird confusion to the whole storyline. And then by the time you get around to it a second time, you're like, oh, okay. So they were telegraphing it the whole time, but you just didn't realize it.
And that's not to keep pooping on Alan, but, like, he mentioned what was it, Telltale and, like, choices not mattering in video games. Yeah. I was like, Alan, dude, choices in video games have never mattered.
No.
Nope.
It's predestined. It's scripted.
Yeah.
Like, your choices are going to lead you down one path or another, or maybe another. Like, maybe a few choices, but, like, it's not. You can't. Mm-hmm. You don't have actual will. And
unless you're playing a Peter Molyneux game.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can plant this tree and watch it grow over its entire life, over 10 years. But, like, Bioshock Infinite takes a piss out of that. It's like, here, go ahead, make a decision. Watch it affect nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I think, like, one of your first options, like, when I first played it, it was like, here, throw this ball as interracial couple. I will not. And, like, I went to play it again, and I was like, okay, fuck it. What happens if I select yes? Doesn't matter. It stops you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
when Infinite blows the doors open, because, like, once they tell you what Infinite means, and blows the doors open to, like, the multiversal levels of, like, in any universe there will be, like, a rapture, but it'll be something different. It'll be the same thing. It'll be started by a man, it'll be connected by a lighthouse, and it'll be a city. Mm-hmm. Some kind of magical, seemingly impossible city. In the sky, in the water, underground, who knows?
Yep.
It sounds like we're being sucked away by the tornado that took John Kent.
Yep. God damn it. Like, it's a game that has so much, like, depth to it, and it's just, like, if you can make something that has even half as much. It says even half as much about like the world or about what could or could not be in an interesting way, then you'll make a really interesting game, to say the least.
On that note, I'm really curious what the time frame, like not time frame, but the time period is going to be for this game.
Yeah, I'm curious
because we've done what would we do, like 1890s. We did 19.
It was like late 50s, I want to say.
Yeah,
like
late
it was...
50s and late 10s, I think. Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, fuck it, do 1980s and put us underground.
Yeah. 80s, 70s. Either one would be interesting.
I mean, like System Shock is basically Bioshock in space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
before Bioshock was the thing.
Yeah, there's no reason to go there. So I mean, stay terrestrial. I like the idea that it is, the Bioshock, setting is a man, a lighthouse, a city. So I don't want that to change.
Yeah.
I mean, they could do like a city in the center of the earth. I'd be into that.
There you go.
I'd totally be into that.
I want more of this, of the kind of the multiverse references. Like I would like to see like a Songbird reference or a Big Daddy reference.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
Or you
show
just
me that. Keep the connections open, but keep them limited.
Yeah. At the end, you travel to Rapture, and then you hear screaming that sounds like screaming from the beginning of the first game, which they claim was an accident, but I don't believe it for a second. I don't know.
Wait,
I'm excited
hold on. What are you referring to?
So you haven't heard of this? So there's a theory that there's this like sound that you hear when you first start the first Bioshock, and it could easily just be whales, but a lot of people are saying that it's the songbird crying as it's dying,
as it's drowning.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And that you can hear it happening. That somewhere in another room that's happening.
That sounds like a happy accident.
It probably is, but I don't think it is. So, yeah, I think it was planned. Because
I would say, because I know in the beginning of Bioshock 1 and 2, as soon as you enter both cities, somebody says to you with different tone and different context, like, is it someone new?
Yeah.
When you get the bathysphere, the splicers outside are like, is it someone new? As if to imply, like, there's a new stranger coming in they can take, Eve from. And then in Infinite, right before you get baptized, the preacher turns around and says, is it someone new?
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
So I hope they keep that up.
I just got an external hard drive for my Xbox. I guess I'm going to have to replay Infinite then.
Boom. I have all three of my hard drive. I jump into them every now and then.
Nice.
Yeah,
actually, while I wait for Star Trek Discovery to install Discovery Online, I might play Bioshock.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's all the news I had. Did I miss anything? Or
I don't think so.
No, I think...
The news story is it's time for bed.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Very much.
We did this very late. God fucking damn it. Okay.
Yeah. And I was quiet because I've never played Bioshock.
Whoa.
Oh.
I know the
shame on.
story. Yeah. I think I missed the first one, and I never jumped in, and
I can understand that.
Yeah.
You can play the first one, the HD version, or the original version, and it's still going to hold up.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because they're timeless. Like they're the things that are going to go down. Like certain NES games and Super NES games and N64 games, like as long as you're playing on the right television, because I learned my lesson the hard way, are ageless, and you'll enjoy them over and over again.
Yeah.
I think Bioshock's good as those. I tried playing GoldenEye on my HD TV not that long ago.
I'm sorry.
The short story is I didn't because I couldn't see anything. I don't like. There aren't enough deinterlacing settings in the world to fix what happened to my TV that day.
Yeah, you could always play James Bond Blood Diamond or whatever that game was.
I think I had that.
You mean Agent Under Fire or GoldenEye 2?
No, there was a. Is that what it was called? It was with Daniel Craig, but it was the story of GoldenEye.
Yeah. Oh, I played that, and you know what it was? It was Call of Duty, but they swapped out some for James Bond skins. That's it. I fucking loathed it because I got my hands on it. I was like, this is on rails. Sit back and watch things happen and be passive. Call of Duty. That's all this is.
Well, and GoldenEye Blood Diamond would be really weird because you'd either play as Jaime Hansu or you'd play as Leonardo DiCaprio. So,
sorry. Anyway, it is time for bed.
All right.
Yeah.
Everybody, this has been a very long session of the Phantom Zone. So I've been Connor McGraw. Hunter reminded me, don't follow him anywhere on social media.
Don't.
But please follow me on social media. I'm probably going to convert my Twitter into something gimmicky soon. Follow me on Instagram at Reverse Connor. And Big Bully episode for Movie Dumpster should be out, and we just recorded one for a movie from the 90s? Yeah, called Runestone, which features one of the villains from Die Hard as a Nordic hero fighting a werewolf monster called Fenrir.
Whoa.
Is that what they based that old PC game that was online on?
Maybe.
No. Bad joke. You're not understanding. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Not RuneScape.
So is that the first appearance of Fenrir?
I don't know.
Because he's in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the first. We talked about in the show when we recorded. It's probably the first and only horror/monster movie I've seen that leans this hard in Norse mythology because they cover Thor, Tyr, Fenrir, Ragnarok, Odin, everything.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's really weird. And it's kind of fun. It plays out like a long Creepshow sketch.
Ooh.
Yeah, like dubious red lighting, lots of red stuff everywhere, people getting cut up, cool monster effects.
Is there an old man who wants a cake?
Is there a deer god spirit that feeds on people?
I want my cake.
No, but it features remember the blonde terrorist from Die Hard who takes the entire movie to kill?
Yeah, that dude. Not Dolph Lundgren. He plays Tyr, the one who kills Fenrir in Norse mythology. Like he's the contemporary version of that. And then
does he have one hand?
No, which is the weird thing. We discovered also that while covering this movie that guy died like 4 years after from hepatitis complications from chronic alcoholism.
Whoa!
Jesus Christ.
That's a hard way to go out.
Wow.
He was a professional, Hall of Fame drinker.
Yeah.
And I guess we connected is because his career tanked because he was turning down roles like Die Hard, and he's a dancer, so he was turning down dancing roles too. And it adversely affected his career, so he just went into a personal slump and basically just suicide via alcoholism.
Yeesh.
And he was discovered in his home after people stopped getting phone calls from him. I'm like, what a fucking depressing way to go.
Christ.
No, that reminds me of the dude from Alice in Chains. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. I've also made my next pick for the movie dumpster. So the Runestone's coming out this week, and then my pick will be Frankenstein's Army from 2013, which features a contemporary Dr. Frankenstein stitching Nazis back together with machinery. It's awesome.
It doesn't sound as good as John Hurt traveling back in time.
How many Frankenstein movies have they done?
So many.
Because didn't they do... What was the one with Aaron Eckhart?
I Frankenstein. And you won't guess this. The end of the movie, the last line is, I Frankenstein.
Oh, fuck off. It is not.
That's the last line of the movie. Aaron Eckhart says, I Frankenstein.
At least, okay, it's funny you mentioned that because at the end of Frankenstein Unbound, after John Hurt kills Frankenstein, out in the clouds for some reason is the voice of Frankenstein's monster, and he's like, I am unbound. I'm like, that has no context in the rest of the story. Just slid it in there so you can get the
title. I have to wash that off me. Ew.
Sorry, one last thing. What happened to Aaron Eckhart? He seemed to have a career ahead of him, and then...
He did I, Frankenstein.
It's so weird, because after The Dark Knight, you would think, oh, he's going to get everything.
He did White House Down, and what was the other one, the sequel?
Oh, Olympus Has Fallen, and the other one, yeah.
But, Battle LA happened,
London Has Fallen.
And that's it.
Yeah.
As far as starring roles for Aaron Eckhart, it was Battle LA and then nothing. I can't think of anything else.
Not to go into a tangent over time close, Battle LA is, not a movie that puts you in movie jail.
No.
It's. I think that movie's pretty fucking good.
I mean,
to be honest,
it did fine. Like, it's a movie also where the directors of AVP Requiem, they stole some of the visual effects to use it in Skyline months before.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
They
yes,
did.
They were working on that movie.
They were sued over it, and I believe they
Holy
lost.
shit!
I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, and he was also in Thank You for Smoking, but that was before Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's before.
That movie's
I
great.
love that movie.
Like,
That movie's great.
Dark Knight is the kind of movie where it's like afterwards you have a new career. It's like The Fugitive in the 90s. Tommy Lee Jones' career was resurrected by The Fugitive. That's the same thing that should have happened to Aaron Eckhart. And
what happened to Tom Hardy should have been what happened to Aaron Eckhart, and like Aaron Eckhart just made a bunch of bad decisions.
Yeah.
Seems
I'm
like
gonna look at his IMDb right now and see what he's
doing. That and people were like, we could go with you or Thomas Jane. Thomas Jane seems like a nicer guy. Let's take Thomas Jane.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. I'm closing the show though. Everybody. Shit.
AA Horror, all the places. Lost Horror Podcast. We took a week off, but we did a summer preview, so look forward to that. We have a Catherine Bigelow episode coming out soon. We talked about Near Dark. So yeah, go look for that when that comes out. So. Yeah.
Eric Fedorchek on Eric_Fedor on Instagram. Dogs, food, comic, animals, things. Other comic recommendation for everybody. If you haven't read it, go check out BPRD Plague of Frogs, because there's the new hardcovers of Hell on Earth, which is the direct follow-up to that storyline coming out, and it is phenomenal. It is Mike Mignola weirdness, but done in more of a, I guess, regular comic book style.
Mm-hmm. Like
a month-to-month thing, as opposed to Hellboy, which felt more like, hey, this is a cool story, let's see what artists we can get on it. Like, it's so good. It's got so many weird, like, just religious and magic-based stuff that they just throw out there like they expect you to understand what it is. And you're like, yeah, sure. But it's totally worth it. It's so cool.
I have nothing.
Well, you're in the Phantom Zone group, so
yes,
that's
I am. I have social media, but I don't use them ever. I don't like them. I used to work for like PR, and I had to do them, so like I don't.
Oh God.
I see. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Don't blame you.
All right. From us at the Phantom Zone After Dark. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Fuck X-Men Apocalypse.
Fuck X-Men Apocalypse. And fuck Flash this week. My God.
Bye.
Depot is my savior.